throughout the double green to kick off this month's Charger Mania. Some frenzied action in the Chargers set up a good old-fashioned race to the finish. Dave McCumber survived a 3 abreast battle to take the lead from Mark Lento. Then he held off the 77 of Skip Von Holt and the 53 of Larry LaFontaine to take his first checker of the season. Dave Brigatti was like a rocket ship the next week. He just took off and left everyone to duke it out in his rearview mirror. It was Brigatti's first win of the season. Another easy win in the Charger division a week later. Okay, so it wasn't that easy. Once Mike Mortimer passed Russ Thorson, it was clear sailing to his first career victory. The final Charger event of the month was simply wild. Lap number 1, caution number 1 for a multi-car pileup. Joe Orlando uses the low side to steal the lead away from Russ Thorson. But now, the controversy begins. Second place runner Mike Harold and the lap car Ray Manieri touch, ending Harold's strong run with a flat.
We're running down the leader, and a lap car came out of the infield and just took us out. Crashed right into the side of us and put us out for the night.
What happened? I took the guy in second place out by accident. What am I going to do, you know?
Joe Orlando fends off Scott Wolf and Richie Carmen for win number 1 on the season. There's 3 keys to being successful in auto racing. Driving fast, speed. Just 1 week after his car burst into a ball of fire, Pete Buzzy Erickson was back with a vengeance. He charged to the front and rode the outside groove past Roger Oxy with 1 lap to go to take the win.
It was hungry, it was tired, it was my crew. They wanted it bad, and we thought we had a chance. We made it up to 5th, and the tires started rubbing with, like, I guess 5 to go. And, you know, I was a little worried about it, but, hey, you got to run. You come out here to play, and we've tasted it before, and we like it.
Here's one for You Make the Call. David Royce and Tony Urbina duke it out. The 2 touch, and Royce hits the wall. What do you think? The officials penalized Urbina for rough riding. When the guys settled down, Quinn Volcraft went on to record his 2nd win of the season. The next week, Volcraft says, "Excuse me, Mr. McIlerney, you're in my way." But Paul McIlerney comes right back and spins the 7 in turn 4. Both were penalized for their actions. Steve Tooker blew by Peter Bertuccio en route to his first win of the year. Some bumping and banging the following week as well. Sean Patrick can attest to that. David Royce had a strong run going until his rear Lexan flew off. But this night would belong to Dan Giovanelli, who... Harley-Davidson is known for its bikes, girls, and leather, but they're also heavily involved in motorsports, especially Hempstead Harley-Davidson. Recently, we sat down for a chat with Team Harley driver Peter Buzzy Erickson. Pete, there's only one way to describe your season so far: a roller coaster ride.
I tell you, it's been one of the... I have to say it's been one of the worst seasons I've ever had as far as racing. I've raced over 10 years now, and I've beat up cars before and had crashes before, but it's been, like you said, one after another after another. If it wasn't for those 4 wins I had this year, it would be a total blowout season. One moment you won't soon forget from this season was when your car blew up in flames a couple weeks ago. I talked to you right after you got out of the car, and you said it was no big deal, but once you saw it on tape, now what do you think about it? Well, there was more to be afraid of by seeing it on the outside. There wasn't, inside the car, it was, I feel very safe inside my race car, and there wasn't flames inside the car. It was more, like you say, horrifying watching it from a taped or a outside point of view. But I was in control. I wasn't knocked out. I knew exactly what I was doing, and that's why I never panicked. I just did it, and everybody said, "You took so long to get out." But it was just time to get out of the car, and that's the way I did it. The very next week, you came back, and you actually won the event. That says a lot from my crew and from my sponsors. They stuck by me, and a lot of man-hours went into that, and the cards fell right that night. It was one of them high points on the roller coaster. When we spoke a couple weeks ago, you were still in the midst of the point battle, but since then you've gotten into a couple accidents, one big one, and now you're basically out of the battle for the point championship. The numbers are definitely against me here. There's a mathematical chance it would happen, but it would have to be, my luck would have to go on most of the other competitors, and mine would have to stay on the top side. We go out there to race every race. I've never been out of a point chase any time I've raced a full season out at Riverhead, and it's frustrating for all of us, but you got to take your lumps, and if that's what the roller coaster ride's going to be this year, that's what we got to deal with, and just run it from there. Now, how is that, to win the championship one year and be out of the points battle the next? Honestly, it's not disappointing. It's frustrating, like I said before, more than disappointing. I've always been there, and hey, people still come out to see me, and we still have an excellent time every time we go there. We're not... The championship was always an extra, and it was a very nice extra, but this year, just the cards aren't falling my way. Now, you've won 5 championships on Long Island, 2 at Freeport, 3 at Riverhead.
But the most memorable moment for you must have been those 3 victories at Pocono.
Those were outstanding in their own point, because it was, you're going to race with the supposedly the best of your division from upstate, from everywhere along the country on this side. And to go out there and be dominant, as we were so many times, out of a car that was built in a garage is just, you can't say enough about the equipment and the amount of time hours and the planning that went into that race. You know, we worked for that race, and we ran that race, and we ran it up there like professionals.
Are we ever going to see Buzzy Erickson back in that street stock championship?
I don't think so. I raced Flemington, and Flemington's a very nice track. It's a very fast track, but it's not Pocono, and I just think Pocono had so much more, I don't know, pizzazz.
In this modern era of motorsports, sponsors are a must.
I'll tell you, the sponsors are a definite help. I mean, the people that stand behind me in this division, in this car, really are super people. Marty and Richie, we're more friends, too. Then it's not just a sponsorship type deal. We get along very well with each other. It's nice that way.
So tell me, is it the sales or the service?
Oh, it's a combination. I definitely wouldn't put one or the other in front.
You ever get tired of it? You won a lot of races. You won the championships. Have you ever thought of hanging up your helmet?
I did. If I did hang it up, it wouldn't be permanent. You know, it would be a rest. It would never be a retirement yet. It would just be a rest.
Where is Buzzy Erickson headed in the next few years in terms of racing?
With Lotto or without. You know, you got to keep everything in perspective. You know, hey, everybody'd like to race big cars and drive fast and stuff like that. But I've had some modified rides and offers. And whether I'm going to go that way or I'm going to stay with where I am, I don't know yet. I mean, it's been a tough year, and I'm definitely going to think about over the wintertime what next year is going to be as far as my racing weekly or this division or the other division. It'd be nice to drive somebody else's car.
Today's Late Model Report is brought to you by All Pro Auto Parts, coming to a store near you. Here's one more look at the wreck that eliminated Erickson, Roger Oxy, Ron Thiel, David Royce, and a host of others during the last weekend in July. Tony Urbina led Dan Giovanelli and Ed Denseski across the finish line for his second victory of the season. The next week, Frank Farrell triggers a multi-car pileup, which includes top point men Giovanelli and Denseski. Farrell makes the highlights by spinning once again after contact with Sean Egan. But the highlight of the event is Sean Patrick, who cruised to his first ever win. Roger Oxy was roaring last week. He just gives John Shortell a little nudge and then screams past him on the backstretch en route to his second victory of the season. Today's pit tip is brought to you by Oval Speed Unlimited of Massapequa Park, always catering to the oval track racer. Matt, we need a tape down here as soon as possible. As you can see, radio communication is important in all facets of motorsport, even to our Long Island Trackside pit crew. Here to explain that importance is Oval Speed's Dennis Priest.
That's right, Bob. A lot of the teams use our radios right now. Radio system consists of a helmet wired, earpieces for the driver, a microphone for the driver so he can communicate, a push-to-talk on the steering wheel, so when he wants to talk to the pit man, he just pushes a button. Same thing for the pit man. He's got a radio belt to hold the radio, headphones. When he
The Rocket, George Crockett, was misfiring during the last race in July, and that enabled Skip Von Holt to motor on by on the outside for his first official win of the year.
We had a little problem the first night out, but we seem to have gotten this car working better, and we have all legal parts in it this time.
The Rocket would blast into victory lane the next week, but George Crockett was disqualified after refusing a post-race inspection. Jack Orlando was awarded the win, the second time he's won after disqualification this season. David Johansson, no relation to Buster Poindexter, was feeling hot last week. That is until second place point man Howie Brody muscled by on the outside. Brody went on to win the National Parts Peddler Street Stock Qualifier. Part 2 of a weekend doubleheader was a real wild one. Jim Kiesel makes a right turn into Raymond Airy, enabling the 15 of Ed Vaccaro to take the lead on lap 15. The defending Charger champ cruised. Dominant driver in the Charger division the past 3 years has sat behind the wheel of the number 53. But until now, Larry LaFontaine was only known as the bridesmaid.
We were finishing in the top 10 and just having a good time racing, and you know, racing Chucky's story. He had a dominant car, and we just got not lucky, but I guess just happened to be in the points. I mean, just to be in the points that year was unbelievable. It was a great feeling being up in the points. We won our first feature that year, and it was great just to be up there, you know. Last year we were disappointed, you know, because of the rain. We were leading the points at the end of the season, the last couple of weeks, and we had that double pointer at the end of the year that we didn't finish. We got knocked out, and that knocked us out, 18 points out, or no, 10 points out, and so we figured, all right, we'll regroup and we'll come back to last week and give it our best shot, and we never got a chance to do that. And a lot of championships on the line that race too, and we just got rained out. We never got a chance, so that really broke our hearts. We didn't get a chance to race for it. We came out here and we ran consistent every week. The car was fast every week. We stayed out of trouble. I was very comfortable with the car, and that was the difference. Me being comfortable, the crew being comfortable, and we just went out and we had an awesome season. And we finished, top 10, 17 races out of 19.
And you finally got what many people thought you deserved for a long time.
Yeah, we did. I tell you, my crew deserved it. My sponsors, my engine man, my old man. He's been racing for years. He finished second in the points. It's just a lot of hard work, and we've been doing it for 6 years now, and it feels good. It feels real good. And we're going to go on. We're going to, maybe move up a division and try. Yeah. Oh yeah, this car is for sale. I'm done with the Charger division. I had a lot of fun. We won a championship, and we're going to probably move up to late model.
Today's Charger Report is brought to you by Mr. Motorsports of Riverhead. All your motorsports apparel is just minutes away from the raceway. Larry LaFontaine won the championship because he stayed out of wrecks like this. Danny Grennan dove under Jim Beck for the lead during the last race in August, but the 76 came right back. The two touched. Grennan does a nice job of keeping it under control, while Beck gets a flat. Grennan goes on to grab his first career checker. Today's Late Model Report is brought to you by All Pro Auto Parts. Join All Pro for a night at the races May 27th at Riverhead Raceway.
Roger Oxy's number 39 was running like a rocket at the end of April. He used his pole position to jump out to an early lead, and there would be no catching the 39. Oxy crossed the finish line ahead of the pack to take his first win of the season. 1 week later, John Shortell started on the pole, but he didn't stay there long. This early race tie-up helped Steve Tooker sneak into the lead. Paul McInerney was hot on Tooker's tail until Dan Giovanelli sent him for a ride. After that, Tooker made the most out of lap traffic, holding off Giovanelli for the win. 1 week later, in a 50-lap double-point race, it was Giovanelli on the receiving end. Pete Erickson sent him spinning, but once again it was the number 55's time to shine. Tooker passed pole sitter Eddie Dinseski for the lead and never gave it back.
We had some couple of good weeks in a row. We've had an awful lot of help from different people technically and stuff. We still have a little work to do. I know it looked good, but starting out like we did and only having to contend with one car, we still have a little bit of work to do. But we're real happy. We're happy for Levis Furniture. We're happy for everybody on the car, and especially for me.
Another green to checker performance in this month's racing action, this time by Ed Whalen in the number 44. Dan Giovanelli passed the 5 of Sean Egan trying to catch the leader, but Whalen stayed in front to win the race and take his first victory lap ever. For Long Island Trackside, I'm Art Mochi.
The road to good car maintenance is paved with...
As the mid-season marker approaches, the drivers begin to focus on the division championships. In the Chargers, the points battle is already heating up.
Today's Charger Report is brought to you by Trailer Transport of Westbury. Trailer Transport carries a complete line of car haulers, landscape trailers, and horse transporters by Featherlight Trailers.
Danny Grennan's run for the point lead began to cool off on All Pro Auto Parts night when he parked his number 38 Thunderbird in turn 4. George the Rocket Crockett blasted by Jay Hulse on lap 9 and held on for his first win of the season. The following week, it was Mike Harold who was on fire. The number 90 sliced through the field like a hot knife through butter. A close call for points leader Mike Wazlonis. The 21 just snuck by Tom St. Clair as the 56 showered the track with sparks. But Harold was untouchable. He cruised to his second victory of the season. Things went from bad to worse for Danny Grennan during this month's double-point race when he crashed on the backstretch. Jimmy John Elwood grabbed the early lead, but as he caught up to lap traffic, Ray Maneri caught up to him. Jim Kiesel plays jam car, and Maneri sneaks by Elwood on the inside to score his first victory.
Just being patient, waiting until I could make my move, and luckily nobody hit me. That's what I was scared of. I've been getting wrecked every week.
Tom St. Clair jumped out to a big lead right from the start last week, but a late race caution closed the gap. In a spectacular finish, St. Clair just edged Richie Carmen, Bobby Sada, and Danny Grennan for his first career win. For Long Island Trackside, I'm Paul Schneller.
The official apparel...
Betts Motor from Copaig, the number 99 made an aggressive last-lap move to capture his first ever win in a modified 2 weeks ago. Late model driver Steve Tooker is the Merkel Hard Charger. The veteran